Hi there. My name is Kelly McCracken. I'm a certified Dubsado specialist, and I'm going to show you today how to connect your Google Calendar with Dubsado to make sure your availability is always correct. All right, so let's jump right into Dubsado. The first thing that is important to note is that we can only connect one calendar right now to Dubsado. So we're going to show you a workaround of how to actually connect your other calendars if you have a personal account or if you have another work account, or there are other calendars that all need to be synced together in one Gmail account. Now, I do recommend using your business calendar account that we're going to sync it with, even if you are using other personal appointments as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. So, first and foremost, in your Google Calendar settings, you need to actually merge all of your calendars under one umbrella of your actual Google main business calendar. So, you'll see in here that I have my Kelly McCracken business account here, and I've already added in my personal account here, kelly.farrell. So, in order to do that, you have to come into your settings and under add a calendar. And this is where you can search for any other calendars that you have. You would add them in and make sure the share settings in that calendar are allowing you to pull in the information. So we first need to do that. We need to connect them there. So Google understands that all of them live under these one settings here. So once you have done that and you've pulled all of your settings in Dubsado, we're going to now come in to connect an account. I'm going to click on Google link. So you're going to see all of those different emails here, but I'm still going to connect only my business account. Click continue, continue. Okay, now once it's connected, you will now see that there are other calendars available underneath this calendar settings here. So in my main calendar, I want to be able to import any appointments that I have on my business account. And I also want to export any Dubsado appointments to that calendar as well. So when I go to actually view my calendar in Gmail, I'm going to see both appointments there. Anything that I added personally or someone invited me to, or something that was booked in Dubsado. So under Sync Calendar, we want to click both importing and exporting. And this is essentially going to be my primary calendar that I'm using. Now, if you have other calendars, like for example, a personal calendar where like all of your kids' appointments are, games or anything like that, we can also sync that as well. But you're only going to be able to do that here if they are synced in Gmail. So we have to set that up first. Then you will see them available here. Once that is there, then we only want to import if you want this blocking off your calendar. So, like if you have things like if you use time blocking and you're using that just to be like, okay, I have to make dinner here, I have to do things like that, but you don't necessarily want it to block your availability, then we don't need to import it. But if you do need it to block off your availability, we want to make sure to import that other calendar. So I'm going to click save. If you click exporting here as well, it's going to show duplicates, and we don't want it in two places at once. We'll essentially see both of your Dubsado appointments inside of your Gmail calendar, which is what we want to avoid. So once we have this set up, we want to test and make sure that everything is working correctly. So I'm going to come over into events, and you'll see that anything here. So while you can see this public link available, I really don't recommend sending this to your clients, but we are going to use it for testing purposes here today. So I am going to open up this link, and this is now what your clients would view, and they'd be able to see your availability. So I'm going to create an event. I'm just going to write testing. So let's say it's going to be for the 27th. I'm going to say all day, and I want to make sure it's marking me off as busy. So it's under actually, let me put it under my testing account here so you can see. If it's marked as free, the appointment is not going to block off my calendar. I have to be marked off as busy if I want it blocked off. Now I'm going to click save. So currently this is showing as available right now. Somebody can book an appointment that day, but I'm going to give it a second to update. Sometimes when you're uploading and syncing, it can take like up to 5 to 10 minutes. So if it doesn't show up right away, don't panic, especially if you're just syncing it for the first time. It's going to take some time for everything to talk to each other properly. Okay, so I waited a couple minutes and now you'll see that the 27th is blocked off. And that is actually on my other personal calendar, not on my business calendar. So as long as it is checked off as importing and busy, both of those calendars will be able to talk to each other. So the next thing that we need to do in our calendar is actually connect any Now, the next thing that we need to do in the calendar is connect any third party video conferencing. So I choose to use Google Meet. So in my settings here under third party connections, under video conferencing, I'm going to click enable conferencing and I'm going to select that same email. This is a paid email account that I'm using here. That's the one that I want all my Google Meet appointments to be made on. So I'm going to click enable conferencing. And what this does now is every time a client goes to book an appointment from here, it's going to automatically generate a unique link for each of those clients. So you don't have to worry about ever sending a link or getting that set up on your own. So that needs to be enabled in order for that to work. You can also choose to use Zoom if you prefer that. Then in your appointment settings, under my scheduler templates, I have mine already set up in here, but you'll see Google Meet discovery call. So you'll see that my location description is Google Meet, which is what appears right here. And down below that, you're going to see that a conferencing link will be generated automatically. So if you want to use that feature, you have to actually turn it on in each of the scheduler templates. If you take appointments in person or there's a specific address, this would be different. We wouldn't want to have a Google conferencing link. So the other thing I need to point out in your scheduler template is that you need to also mark yourself off as busy. So if you can only take one call at a time, you have to make sure that this is also blocking off your calendar. If you mark it as available, this will still allow other people to book at the same time. So if you're booking something like if you had like 10 slots open for an appointment or something like that where you could have multiple people available, then you would want it to show as available. But most of the time you want to make sure that this is marked as busy. Then down here, you will see in the booking page that you can change your availability. Sorry, right down here, availability. You can set specific dates or specific hours in here as well, but I do recommend just using your calendar and marking off any appointments and getting in the habit of doing everything digitally on your Google Calendar. Then you just get in the habit of always having it there and never being double booked. So there you have it. I hope that was helpful to make sure that you know how to connect your calendar and make sure everything is talking to each other properly. If you need to find me, my website is kellymccracken.co or on Instagram at kellymccracken.co as well. I'd love to hear from you to see if this was helpful.